So in the following game, we confront the modern defense again, and the player who plays the modern defense is a 2289 blitz player. The person who plays it probably doesn't realize that I play this defense when I'm playing sound chess against the highest levels that I can find. And I've made a study of it since it first came out. And I looked at Duncan Suttle's theories, and I get some very good games against it, even against Fritz. I play Fritz 12, and I beat Fritz 12 Master Strength regularly using a check form of the modern defense. So I think I know what I'm doing. The Austrian type formation works pretty well against it if you use the proper order of moves and you recognize that there is kind of the possibility of creating a lot of white square weaknesses in your own camp. If you can get in e6, the wise modern defense player never allows that. It would be nice. And of course the key is to try to pry open the H file. So we're going to get at this right away and see what happens. This is a fairly short game. I've seen this order of move played with the Pirates with the knight on f6 as well. It's some sort of hybrid Carroll-Can. And Fritz actually does very well against this. So I've just learned to push because a lot of pressure occurs on the D pawn if there's exchanges that happen. And of course this is an interesting move. And since I haven't played knight to f3 and he would kind of like to come out and pin my knight, that supports it, and as well as protects the maneuver of knight to h6 to f5. And so I can't shove it g4 in his face. So I better turn on our engine here, give you an idea of what's going on. So these are all pretty standard moves, engine recommended moves. Now it wants me to castle. This is something that I'd prefer not to do. I'd rather delay castling. Instead I push, and it says he should retreat, and I take, and in my opinion I have a slight advantage, and also the engine's opinion at this point. And now interestingly the engine is thinking that e6 is the right move, and that's probably because f5 is coming. So it wanted me to play bishop to d2 if you noticed, because of the following maneuver. For some reason this player is reticent to move knight to f5 for a long time, and it seems like knight to f5 is in order. He pushes, and that's not the worst move in the world. Except I played g4. Now, I've never tried g4 before, and theoretically it doesn't seem like it ought to work, but you know, the fact is that he hasn't castled yet, and if he takes en passant, I start getting levers onto the g file because his bishop is unprotected back there. So he does take en passant, otherwise his knight looks kind of hopeless. And now he makes this mysterious move. The bishop moves back. And it seems like he had a lot better than that, just to move knight to f5. And at this point, the computer recommends me moving h4, but I castle long. And now I'm beginning to get a more significant advantage because he keeps moving that bishop all over the place. And now I push, and he seems lost. He's not seen this g4 maneuver allowing en passant either. And now knight to f5 looks like it's pretty much forced. Although Stockfish 8 says he should move his bishop back to where it was in the last move. And he moves his other knight, which is certainly logical. Now, the problem with this is that this game's about to be over. As you see that it says after h5, white has a crushing winning advantage. That's what up 2 means, and it's up well over 2. And that's exactly what I do. I jumped all over this. This is very simple to play. And now, of course, we have a clear method by which we win this game. We seize control of the g file, attack a rook, and queen a pawn. You know, baby could do it. So here we go. Now he's down 5. He's completely lost. Castles. This is a very quick game, isn't it? Now he resigns. So, as you can see, this was a very short game against a strong player, and this is the kind of mistake that can easily be made opening files. That is the end of today's appearance. Well, it's modern, actually.